Today we're going to create an Apple Style SaaS animation inside DaVinci Resolve Fusion. Welcome back to Visual Nova. To begin, I'll drag my reference file from the media pool into the Fusion workflow. While previewing the reference animation, we'll recreate a very similar SaaS animation. The overall pattern will remain the same, although there may be slight differences in timing and duration. Let's start by creating the background. For that, I'll add a background node and connect it directly to the media out node. Next, click on the color box on the right side and choose the background color. I'll simply pick the white color from the reference video. One important thing to keep in mind is that I'm not using a pure bright white. Next, we'll create the text. Add a text node and connect it to the background node. Go into the text box and type your desired text. For the font color, I'll choose black. Then click OK. For the font, I'll use Open Sans and change the font weight to extra bold. Let's adjust the font size. I'll set the size value to 0.0768. Now it's time to animate the text. Move the playhead to frame 10 and open the Layout tab. Add keyframes to both center X and center Y. After that, move the playhead back to frame 0 and use the Y position to move the text slightly upward. I'll place it around here. Next, open the spline editor and enable the text node. Click Fit to zoom so we can clearly see the animation curve. Right-click, go to Ease and choose out Cubic. Close the spline editor and preview the animation. As you can see, the movement closely matches our reference animation. The only thing left is the opacity animation. Move the playhead back to frame 0. Open the Shading tab and set the opacity value to 0. Add a keyframe. Move forward to frame 4 and increase the opacity back to its maximum value. If we preview the result, our first text animation is now perfectly complete. Next, we'll add the Apple Music logo. Drag the logo from the media pool into the Fusion workflow and connect it to the previous merge node. After that, add a transform node to the logo. Using the transform node, reduce the size of the logo until it looks appropriate. I'll keep it around this size. Now select the first text node again and go to the Layout tab. Use the X position to move the text toward the left side of the logo. I'll place it right about here. If we look at the reference animation, there's also a second text element on the right side of the logo, and it animates together with it. To create that, add another merge node after the transform node. Then create a new text node and connect it to the green input of the merge node. Before continuing, I'll quickly organize the node structure. Open the text box and enter your text. For the color, we'll use black again. Choose the same Open Sans extra bold font that we used earlier. Adjust the size so it matches the first text. Keeping both text elements at the same size helps maintain visual balance throughout the animation. Position this text on the right side of the logo. According to the reference animation, both the logo and the text move from right to left. To achieve that, add another transform node to the workflow. Any animation applied to this transform node will affect both the logo and the text together. Move the playhead to frame 10 and add keyframes to center X and center Y. Go back to frame 0 and push the logo and text toward the right side using the center X value. At this point, the position animation is complete. Open the spline editor and click Fit to zoom. Select all keyframes, right-click, go to Ease and choose Ease Cubic. Close the spline editor. Open the Settings tab of the Transform node and enable Motion Blur. Set the quality value to 4. Let's preview the result. The movement looks smooth and closely matches the reference animation. Next, add another merge node after the transform node. Create a new background node and connect it to the merge node. To create a rectangle shape, connect a rectangle node to the background node. Adjust the width and height values according to the size of your logo and text. Position the rectangle according to the reference animation. Select the background node and change its color. I'll simply pick the same color that was used for the main background. If we observe the reference animation carefully, we'll notice that the text appears from behind the rectangle. To create that effect, we need to animate the rectangle. Select the rectangle node. Move the playhead to frame 3 and add a keyframe to the width parameter. Move slightly forward in the timeline and reduce the width value to 0. Let's preview the animation. As you can see, the text reveal effect perfectly matches the reference animation. The next step is adding the mouse cursor. Add a new merge node to the workflow. Drag the mouse cursor file from the media pool into Fusion and connect it to the new merge node. To control its size, add a transform node. Reduce the cursor size to whatever feels appropriate for your design. Then drag the cursor outside the frame because this is where it will begin its entrance animation. Move the playhead to frame 10 and add keyframes to center X and center Y. Move forward by 10 frames and drag the cursor into the frame from the left side. Move another 10 frames forward and place the cursor directly over the logo. The exact position and size can be adjusted according to your own preference. Keep the playhead at frame 30 and add a keyframe to the size parameter. Move forward by 5 frames and reduce the cursor size. Move another 5 frames forward and slightly increase the size again. This creates the illusion that the mouse cursor has clicked on the logo. Open the spline editor and click Fit to Zoom. Select all keyframes and press S on the keyboard to smooth the animation. Close the spline editor and preview the result. The animation looks great, but there's one thing you'll notice. When the mouse cursor performs the click animation, the logo should also react to that click. To achieve this, move to the same section of the timeline where the cursor size animation was created. Select the logo's transform node and add a keyframe to the size parameter. Move forward by 5 frames and slightly decrease the logo size. Move another 5 frames forward and increase the size again. I'll make it just a little larger than before. Open the spline editor, select the keyframes, and press S to smooth the animation. Close the spline editor and preview the result. Now it's much clearer that the cursor has actually clicked on the logo. The next element we'll create is a rectangle. Before adding more nodes, I'll quickly organize the node graph so everything remains clean and easy to manage. Add a new merge node to the workflow. Create another background node and connect it to the merge node. Then connect a rectangle node to the background node. Select the background node and change its color. Next, select the rectangle node and adjust its width and height. The rectangle should be large enough to cover both the logo and the text. I'll keep it around this size. Increase the corner radius to make the edges fully rounded. I'll set it to approximately this value. Let's quickly compare it with the reference animation and fine-tune the width and height until both designs closely match. Once everything looks good, we can animate the rectangle. Move the playhead to frame 35. Reduce the width value to 0 and add a keyframe. Move forward by 10 frames and change the width back to 0.34. If we preview the animation, the rectangle is now expanding nicely. To smooth the animation, open the spline editor and click Fit to Zoom. Select both keyframes, right-click, go to Ease and choose out Cubic. Close the spline editor and preview the result. The next step is adding the Apple Music Follow PNG. Drag the PNG from the media pool into the Fusion workflow and connect it to the previous merge node. Add a transform node so we can control its size and position. Reduce its size and place it near the bottom right corner of the rectangle. To animate it, move the playhead to frame 43, matching the timing of the rectangle animation. Set the size value to 0 and add a keyframe. Move a few frames forward and increase the size until it reaches your preferred value. I'll keep it around this size. Open the spline editor and smooth the animation using the same method we applied to the previous animations. Close the spline editor and preview the result. The pop-up animation looks perfect. Next, drag the Apple logo into the Fusion workflow once again and connect it to the previous merge node. Add a transform node. Reduce the logo size and place it in the upper left corner of the rectangle. We'll animate this logo using a pop-up effect. Set the size value to 0. Keep the playhead at frame 43 and add a keyframe. Move forward to frame 47 and increase the size until it reaches approximately this value. Move a few more frames forward and slightly decrease the size to create a subtle bounce effect. Let's also fine-tune the logo position just a little. Open the Settings tab, enable Motion Blur, and set the quality value to 4. Apply the same motion blur settings to the Apple Music Follow PNG as well. Go back to the logo's transform node and open the spline editor. Select all keyframes and simply press S on your keyboard to smooth the entire animation. Close the spline editor. Let's preview both pop-up animations together. As you can see, both animations perfectly match the reference video. The next step is creating the open button above the Apple Music Follow PNG. Start by adding a new merge node. Create a new background node and connect it to the merge node. Then connect a rectangle node to the background node. Reduce the width and height until the rectangle matches the button size. Position it directly above the Apple Music Follow PNG. Increase the corner radius to its maximum value so the button becomes fully rounded. Select the background node and pick the same color used in the reference animation. In this case, we're using exactly the same color. Click OK. Now let's add the button text. Create another merge node in the Fusion tree. Add a text node and connect it to the new merge node. For the text color, I'll choose a slightly dark light blue color, which fits the Apple design style much better. Reduce the font size and position the text in the center of the button. According to the reference animation, we also need to change the font. I'll use Arial and keep the font style set to regular. After changing the font, make a few small adjustments to the size and position until everything is properly aligned. We'll animate this text exactly like the Apple Music Follow PNG. Add a transform node. Disable use size and aspect. Set the Y size value to 0. Move the playhead to frame 45 and add a keyframe. Move forward by 5 frames and change the Y size back to 1. Open the spline editor and smooth the animation. Close the spline editor and preview the result. As you can see, our SaaS animation is almost complete. The only adjustment I'll make is slightly increasing the width and height of the open button so it looks more balanced. That looks much better. According to the reference animation, the final step is adding the delayed text animation. Creating this delayed text effect is actually very simple. I've already explained this technique in one of my UI animation tutorials, so instead of repeating the same process, you can watch that video and easily recreate it yourself. I'll leave the tutorial link in the description below. You'll also find all the practice assets for this project in the description. To save some time, I'll skip that section and show you the final result. Our Apple Style SaaS animation is now completely finished. I highly recommend practicing this project yourself because it's a great way to improve your Fusion skills. If you face any difficulty while creating the delayed text animation, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know in the comments what tutorial you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.